tried to kick you where it hurts. You got up, you kept going. That was in there.
I think they know the writing's on the wall. Maguire, Senior, back to Maguire. Danny Maguire leads. The young hero to win the grand final,
Hi everybody, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast, kindly sponsored by ACD&B, who are a branding and creative design agency based in Farsley, Leeds. They create standout brands, so for any companies out there need a brand new logo or a brand refresh, just get in touch with ACD&B. Thanks as always to them for sponsoring us, not only with the podcast, but with the fanzine. And speaking of the Lot 17A fanzine, the next issue is very slowly coming along, and we are open for contributions from anyone listening to this, from absolutely anyone that is interested in submitting an article or some artwork. They tend to be the backbone of the Lot 17A fanzine. If you do want to send an article or some artwork into us for the fanzine for the next issue, just email it over to lot17a@outlook.com. lot17a@outlook.com. We're hoping to get all those contributions and artworks and articles and grab them all together in a big bundle, chuck it over to ACD&B, and they do all the amazing publication of it and editorial of it by December. December is the current deadline. So this is an off-season update. Quite a lot has happened in the world of Rhinos since our Brodie Croft transfer update podcast a month or so ago. He's back, joining me as always, my right-hand man, my co-host, but our amazing statsman. Statman Reese.
I'm a stat man.
Freeze.
Where the bloody hell have you been?
I've been a bit busy, mate.
Where?
Been a bit busy. I got married and then spent 3 weeks in the United States of America.
On your honeymoon? We went on our honeymoon, coincidentally.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
And that was about 8 or 9 years ago. And I think I'm still carrying the weight from that.
You know
those
what?
3 weeks myself.
The first week and a half, we were out in the countryside. We were walking, and we were being really good. And then we hit Nashville, and it all went tits up. Really, to be fair,
It just has to be accepted that when you go out there, you're just gonna eat shit for 3 weeks.
well, like the portion sizes, like in the countryside, were fine. It was in the cities, and it was just we hit Nashville and we hit New Orleans, which also meant a lot of alcohol as well.
Yeah.
In those two cities. So yeah, I was hoping to come back actually not really putting much weight on, but I think I probably did do. I haven't hit the scales. I don't know why I didn't even look.
No, don't bother. You took in an NFL game.
I did. Obviously, I've been to NFL in London so many times, but really wanted to go see one over there. Happened to be like the biggest rival of the Jags, which, pinch of salt. But it was great fun. Absolutely great fun to actually.
Everybody would have seen on X as well that you did attend that.
I wore my Rhinos. Yeah, I wore my
Rhinos shirt, which is absolutely awesome. What was that like?
One person said Leeds Rhinos. I was walking past, and I'm still killing myself to this day for not going past. But I don't know if it's because if they read my badge or if they recognised the badge. I'm not sure. I'll never know.
You travelled all that way and you couldn't be asked to ask.
No, I was to be honest with you. It was at the tailgate. And people have said, like, can you replicate a tailgate elsewhere? I don't think you can. I think it's just so unique for American sports. But literally, the car park was just filled with people with tents, stocked with food. Everyone was drinking. Like, it was a 12 o'clock kickoff. So bear in mind, we were the tailgate at 10 o'clock in the morning. Everyone was drinking. Wow. All the food was out there. And, everyone was playing hacky sack. And, people brought, like, massive 60-inch TV screens or people playing Madden. Like, the tailgate was brilliant fun to see.
that's years and years of culture there.
Yeah, I mean,
I
but people
don't
had
think that can be
redecorated
replicated.
school buses like as
Yeah.
as in a Tennessee Titans stuff. Like it was amazing. But the other thing the only thing that I think we could take back to the sport over here is the vendors with big buckets of beer walking
Yeah.
up the aisles and selling beer as they're going up the aisle.
Yeah.
I didn't have to leave the stand apart from when I needed to pee
Just
because of all the beer that they were selling me on
because
the
all
way
the
up.
bloody beer that they had on offer.
But yeah, so I think it was 18 nights, 10 days, 1,900 miles. So
16 burgers,
yeah, and
68 gallons of
I don't even know how much beer.
local beer. So what
And
what
two
was that
signings for the
stadium that
Rhinos.
you visited? What was that stadium called?
That's Nissan Stadium, so that's right in the centre of Nashville. Or
So
just
how many
on
does
the
that
opposite side of it.
hold? Because it looked
I
amazing.
think it was 65.
Wow.
And obviously they do the national anthem before every game because why not? And then as they were finishing the anthem, when they say "Land of the Free," 2 US Air Force jets flew over because again,
That
why
is
not?
so
And then
American.
fireworks going everywhere. I was like, this is just a normal week game.
America.
But yeah, I knew they'd do it, and I didn't tell Ness, and Ness was like, "Is this like normal?" I was like, "Yeah."
Just every game is just God bless America.
And it was quite a unique game to go to because the Tennessee Titans moved. We are going to talk about these Rhinos in a minute, guys. Sorry.
Nah.
Tennessee Titans moved from Houston, who were originally called the Oilers, and they actually wore the original Oilers kits, or one of like a throwback, a vintage Oilers kit that game. So they actually
that's
turned
cool.
back into the Oilers for the day, which is
Yeah.
quite interesting.
That is cool. We are going to talk about Leeds Rhinos. A bit of an off-season update. There's a bit of news around the club. We're going to pick it apart. Kits, Myler, Danny going to Cass, Kevin Sinfield, IMG, and we'll touch on the England and Tonga series. Where would you like to start with all that, Reese?
I think I want to throw a 2-penny on Croft and Ackers first. I know we actually
good idea.
put that
Yes.
on.
Sorry, let me come back in. You missed our transfer update
I did.
podcast where we signed Crackers. That's what we've christened.
That's good, that.
Yeah, Croft and Ackers. Thank you very much. Too polite.
Clever.
What did you make of that, Reese? Of that, it feels like a million years ago now. But what did you make of that double signing from the Rhinos?
I think for me, it was I was shocked. I felt like I'd lost belief that they would go out and do something like that. And to go get, I mean, firstly, to go and get Croft was an outstanding piece of move, and it was really good to see some ambition. It felt like when they said they weren't happy with this season, it felt like actually they weren't lying. They weren't happy, and they certainly weren't.
Agree.
It was great, but then to go get Ackers as well
To get his mate, yeah.
is I think so that whilst we've got a new spine now, 50% of that spine has already played with each other. Yeah. So I think it was an absolutely outstanding move from the club. Really, wasn't expecting it, and I actually got a bit annoyed at the club as well for making these signings because I was looking forward to a quiet off season where I didn't have to think about Rhinos that much. But now I'm talking about them nearly every other day now.
And now we're treble winners.
So excited for the new season, but it's still 2-3 months away now, and I'm annoyed at them for getting me excited too early.
I agree, but I'm slightly annoyed that there's not much. In terms of rumours now, we're done, aren't we?
Well, we're going to come on to that, aren't we? Because there's some rumours flying around, but yeah, it's a shame they didn't drag it out a bit, just to especially with Salford's news over the weekend that they might not have a stadium by the end of the month. Yeah. It would have really riled some feathers. But no, I think getting Croft and Ackers was outstanding, and it's ambitious. I mean, we knew both said going into the off season we weren't confident that they'd be able to pull the recruitment off. They've still got a little bit more work to do, but they're much further ahead than I thought they were going to be.
I agree, and you talk of work to do there. Richie Myer left this week. Was it this week?
Yes.
Week? Recently. Yeah. Richie Myer left for York. Bit of a bolt out of the blue, that Reese, especially off the back of Luke Hooley leaving. I think everybody listening to this, everybody watching this, every Rhinos fan on the planet pretty much thought, right, Milers is that kind of, well, definitely the backup fullback, but like we mentioned tons of times on last year's podcast, that utility value as well. So bit of a bolt out of the blue that Myler walks out the door.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it from all parties, to be honest, now when I take a step back, but I like Myer. I know there's quite a few people that don't like him, but I've really I know he didn't work out a halfback, but his move to fullback was brilliant. And in recent seasons, he's played a really big part of some important games and winning games. I've liked him, and I really thought him as that utility player, being that backup fullback, being that backup halfback, was really useful. I wouldn't want him starting at halfback, but I think he'd been a really great utility player. And to be honest, I would have thought he wouldn't have minded that being 34.
Yeah.
But he wants to go play regular rugby. If I'm Rowan Smith, if Richie Myer is standing in front of me saying, "Am I going to be in a 17 week in, week out?" My response would be, "I don't know. Most likely not, because I might not want that utility. He might not want to use that utility player as the 17th man. He tends to use 3 forwards, doesn't he? Sometimes, if not 4. So I think it's right for mine if he wants to go get regular game time. I suppose going to York surprises me. I thought
agree.
London would have been more logical, but fair play to York. It shows a bit of ambition in their recruitment as well for next season. Shows IMG might be pulling a bit of weight in it as well.
I think so.
But yeah, honestly, I think it's the right move for all parties, but it certainly potentially leaves a bit of a gap at that backup halfback role. But does that mean they're happy for Sinfield to step up and be that backup? That'd be great. And at fullback, we've got, is it Riley Lum, Alfie Edgell? I think McCormack can play there. Obviously, we've seen Ash play at fullback as well. So there must. I don't know. I'm wondering, because the other thing about Myer is he would have been on a big contract.
Do you think so?
One of the senior players at the club as starting fullback. I think so. Not the biggest in the club, but I certainly think he'd have been in the top 25% of earners at the Rhinos. And I read an article once that the rugby league contracts are structured so that they cost more in the final year. So let's just say it's £300,000 deal over 3 years, it'll cost you 90 grand in the first year, 100 in the second, and 110 in the final one. So it would have cost a lot of money. We might have been touching the salary cap after getting Croft and Ackers, and the likes of Miller as well. So it might free up some more money for a gap in the squad, which I think we do have still.
I do think that if it was as simple as Rowan Smith had to say to Richie Myer, "Oh, you're not in the 17 and you're not starting," if that has shocked Richie Myer so much, especially after we signed Lackey Miller and Brody,
it shouldn't be a shock, should it?
If Richie Myer is shocked at that, if that's happened, we're speculating. If that's shocked him so much that he's fainted and said, "Right, well, I'm packing my bags and I'm off to bloody York," then that's on Richie Myer. Am I bothered that Richie Myer's left? I think part of me is, unless very similar to like you said there with Jack Sinfield, unless we see proof of Edgell or whoever is the second fullback after Miller, I can live with that and say, right, there's a progression here. But I'm not a fan of Ash or someone else dropping in.
I don't want to see that. We saw that too much last year of putting round pegs in square holes. I know I mentioned Ash, but it's not something I'd want to do. I certainly hope that the likes of Edgell or Riley Lum, they feel that they can step up, but only time will tell. But part of them is like, I wish you'd just kept Hooley. If kept Hooley for this season, because part of me wonders if they knew this was going to happen, if they'd have kept Hooley. But equally, Hooley will want to play regular rugby because he's only 24 as well. But I'd rather have Hooley would probably be a backup to give people like Agile and Lum a time. But suppose Jack Walker was 17 when he started at fullback. Gannon was 17, 18 when he came through. Sinfield's only 18. If you're good enough, you're young enough. You're old enough even.
If you're good enough, you are young enough. That's correct.
Yeah.
And you're old enough. I got the feeling, Pat, I'll ask you in a moment, that Myer leaving kind of chopping the cap up a bit to make way for another one coming in. Obviously, with no quarter spots available, so it'd have to be a British player. If that is true, if that is happening, if that were to happen, Reese, would it be another fullback kind of cover, or what kind of position do you reckon was still slightly light in?
It's the number 10 shirt.
You reckon it's a starting prop?
I think it should. It should be. It should be a starting prop. Now I know GH said there was going to be no significant signings after the deals to bring Croft and Ackers in, but the landscape's changed now. Myler's gone. If there is the cap space that I think there is potential to go out and get someone for that 10 shirt. I don't think Holroyd is there yet. If you look at our props at the moment, we've got Oledzki, who had a bad season this season.
Last year,
but we know he's one of the best English props in the country. Holroyd had a good year, but I just don't think he's potentially starting material in terms of a number 10 shirt yet. And then your Sangares and your Sones are your impact props for me. I don't want them starting on the pitch. I want them coming on with 25 minutes gone in the first half and just causing problems when people are tired. So I still think we're missing that. And obviously we've got Kieran Hudson as well, the lad from Castle that we signed.
Yes.
With a certain grandfather called John Holmes.
I didn't even know that. I bet did anyone?
No, someone said
I had no
I was
idea.
surprised that he didn't have a photo of him signing with his granddad's statue.
Yeah, a bit strange.
But obviously he had an ACL injury last year, so he didn't really play a lot for.
Did he?
Didn't play at all.
Oh God,
he didn't play for Cast last year, so he was an exciting prospect that unfortunately got injured. So, we said last year you can never have enough props, but if there's a starting prop available, I think Rhinos have got to go out and get it.
Who is that?
It's not Tom Burgess. It's not Tom Burgess. He's got another year in his deal. It's not Tom Burgess.
If he's coming over here, he's going to Warrington. Everybody, he's going to play with his rubber.
It gets rumoured every year, doesn't he? Pretty much to come back over. Yeah. If he genuinely wanted to come over and play here, he'd come and played here by now, and would have probably signed with his brother. For me, it's Ryan Sutton.
All right.
The other one that I think had legs was Luke Thompson, but obviously Wigan got there for him. So I think the next one that I believe could be available and is a good shout is Ryan Sutton.
I'd take Ryan Sutton.
I think he's a quality player.
I'd take that. I think that's the best, most realistic we can expect. Really, I know
we're restricted with quota spots, aren't we? And I'm not sure there's not anyone that's taken up that quota spot that I'd see go. Another name that's just been mentioned was Ollie Partington. And that's been mentioned by Josh and Robbie. He was rumoured to be going, but he hasn't gone yet, I don't think. I'm just going to fact check that.
Quick go.
But I wouldn't be signing Oliver Partington to be a starting 10.
No.
Because I think Holroyd,
the only one.
I think him and Holroyd are probably level pegging, I think, in quality.
I think the only one of those mentioned is Ryan Sutton. He's the only one who'd get the 10. Otherwise, it has to be Tommy Holroyd.
Yeah. Or, well, you can't leave it open, can you? Because that's a bit of a kick in the teeth for Tom, isn't it? Like, you're not going to have the shirt, but we're going to leave it open. But I think if they don't get anyone, then it's a case of, look, it's a big number, is this? There's been some very famous players that have worn this number and it comes with a responsibility. You've had a great progress, but we need to see more.
Yeah.
I think he's capable. He's capable of having that 10 shirt easily.
Would it be kind of a massive incentive and a massive confidence boost for him if Leeds said, look, Tom, here's the 10, go and grow and show us what you can do and kind of develop from last year? I think that it'd be absolutely buzzing if we did that.
Yeah, I think
it'd feel bulletproof.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. But if someone like Ryan Sutton's available, I think Leeds have got. I think they're stupid not to do it.
Yeah,
because I think that's the only position now, other than fullback as a backup. In terms of a starting position, that's the only position I think that could be filled.
Yeah, I put a list of squad numbers I thought it would look like. The only one kind of 1 to 13. The only one that's kind of thrown up some discussion is the number 11 shirt.
I have seen this.
Do you think I kind of generically gave it to James McDonald? So I thought off the back of last year, it was one of our starting. But a lot of people were saying it's still James Bentley's to lose. How do you feel about that 11 and that back row? It's obviously Reece Martin. And I'm not writing off Morgan Gannon whatsoever. But obviously Morgan's got a bit more.
Morgan's got plenty of time on his side to get that shirt
to get back in there. So
yeah,
don't come at me thinking I'm Don't at me. McDonald or Bentley?
I think it's really difficult.
Really?
I do because I like James Bentley, and especially when we saw the best of Bentley. By the way, have you seen his video on Instagram on Leeds Rhinos account when he's doing? I can't even tell you the move because I don't go to the gym.
He's pulling.
But he's doing pull-ups. He's doing pull-ups with his legs perpendicular, isn't he? He looks like he's been putting some work in. To be fair to him, but Bentley is a Leeds lad. He is a very good player, but when he plays well. McDonald outplayed him easily last year. There's no doubt about that.
He went on for the Lot Pod Player of the Year. Don't forget.
He came second, didn't he? I think in the end.
Yeah.
So part of it's do you reward him, and part of me feels like you should do. But again, it comes down to probably what you're saying about Holroyd. If you take number 11 away from Bentley, does that affect Bentley's confidence? Does that affect who he is?
But then, obviously, there's always two sides to every story.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, James McDonald's confidence is it's absolutely sky high.
I would let Bentley keep the 11 because McDonald's only got one more year left, and I think did Bentley sign a 2-year deal?
Yeah.
I think and I'm not sure whether Reece Martin will stay any longer after next season. So there's potentially going to be a 12 shirt coming available. But I think Bentley deserves. Not deserves, but I think Bentley should keep it for another year or probably to his contract. McDonald needs to sign a new deal.
He'll have a new deal before season kicks off. I'm fairly adamant that we will get him signed up. Phil, one of our regulars in the comments, says McDonald. Josh Biggs says McDonald. Ollie Warman says, for me, McDonald deserves the 11 shirt. Ginny B says McDonald has earned it, in my view. Invest in the future. Paul says Bentley will be 11. McDonald is still growing and will be a future 11. I agree. I think it's James McDonald for me. But it's just a number. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if someone's got 11 or 69. It doesn't matter.
I am one of these sort of manager players that will pick squad numbers for a reason, and I won't change them. I'm not one of these auto number people. They have the number because that's the number that they deserve.
Because that's where,
which really should talk myself into McDonald being number 11, but I am going to say Bentley.
We'll see how that develops. We've had another kit. So we've had a principal kit, which we touched on briefly on the Transfer Update podcast, the last podcast. But since then, we've kind of had two kits, if you include the Kevin Sinfield Leeds edition one that is running in Leeds. But we've also had an alternative kit. Statman Reese is going to now put up the principal white shirt. For those watching on YouTube, you can see the shirt now. For those listening back on Spotify and iTunes, it is just the principal shirt. I'm sure you've all seen it. Reese, what are your thoughts on this principal shirt, first of all?
I've clearly been talking about having a white kit too much because when we got a white kit, I was getting tagged.
You don't understand just how much you influence Oxen. The whole Doddy Weir thing is it's a hill I'll die on was your idea. Absolutely 100% your idea. You were way too coy on that. I'll defend you on your behalf. They're listening in again because this potentially is a white home kit.
Yeah, so are we saying this is the home shirt, or are we saying that we've got two?
I think
last year was home, away, and alternate.
I think there's a home shirt coming.
You think? I'm wondering if we're going to have two different types of shirts that we'll wear at home this season.
Yes, something like that. It's too weird to overlook that they didn't call it the home shirt. That is, you can't overlook that. Sorry.
Yeah. So this one, it's probably not the white shirt I was expecting or wanting. To be fair, but I like how it's so different to other white kits that we've had because the easy option to do is just to put the banding across the middle, and I really like how they've done something different. So for me, I'm probably giving this a 7 out of 10.
Really?
I think that's better than any of the kits we had last year. I didn't like any of the kits.
Really?
I didn't like any of the kits last year.
Wow. I think that's a 0. I
What?
think it's a miss.
You think it's a
But
miss?
yeah, massive miss. Having said that, on the previous podcast, I did mention how they'd called it a principal kit, but now that I know it's a principal kit and not the home kit, it's made me feel slightly better. But
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I do like it. I think I still think it's a good kit, but and I like how it's different to other white kits we've had in the past.
I do like that. Yeah, you're right there. I agree with you there. But it is.
But if this is our home kit, I probably would be a little bit disappointed. But I have a feeling we're going to have a first and second home shirt. The word principal just feels a bit weird for me.
No, we can't overlook that. What did you think of the marketing for it? The whole video with the women's side and Leeds United involved.
Yeah, I like that. It was it's well, I can't remember what the line would have said, wasn't it? But it's like a Leeds thing or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I like that. I liked, sometimes I wish there was more connection with like United and
I do. That's why every time Rob Oates is on, we always ask him.
yeah. So yeah, it's good. I mean, part of me really wishes that when they call that press conference for that sponsor, that they just walked out with Brodie Croft and Ackers in that kit and going, but yeah, I think it was good. It's probably one of the better kit release videos that you'll see in Super.
Oh, without a doubt, the whole marketing was absolutely the best.
I thought
in Super
having
League
it's a Leeds thing, but that's why they've done this. Having a kit that's mainly white and putting Leeds United in there.
Yeah,
they're not thick.
No,
because you could wear that. You could wear that at a United game and vice versa.
Yeah, easily. The whole marketing and that video of it was superb. So I do doff my cap to Oxen for that one. We've also last week, God, there's been a lot of news recently. We've had an alternative shirt as well. Reese has just got it up for those watching on YouTube. For those that haven't seen it or listening back to this, it's a predominantly dark blue shirt. It's got like small pink, blue dashes across it. Think bus seat, and you won't be too far wrong. What did you make of this alternative shirt, Reese?
It only occurred to me yesterday that it is a bus seat, isn't it? Because didn't Leeds United have one that was like a bus seat?
Yes.
And I think that this one, the Rhinos one, is better than that bus seat. So in the battle of the bus seat kits, I think Rhinos have won on that one. I think this is an 8 out of 10 for me. As an alternative shirt, I think this is really, really good. I think this is really smart.
This is an alternative shirt. This is exactly how you utilize that alternative free hit. I think they've absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
I think
the right amount
gorgeous.
Of pink in this one as well.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think the whole very similar, not as good to the principal kit in terms of the video and the marketing for the release, but the whole out, in space, out of this world type. I thought they've absolutely smashed. You're gonna see bucket loads of these. I think you're gonna see more of these than you are the principal shirt come the first game of the season.
So
obviously,
we had about the last couple of seasons. We had the turquoise kit, didn't we? We've had the
pink
third kit, which was the white, blue, pink, and yellow one. We had the fully pink kit. Yeah. I think this knocks all of them out of park in recent years.
Yeah, I agree. This is Oxen's in terms of Leeds Rhinos kit. I'm not including any Rob shirt or Doddy shirt in there. This is the best since it's a hill I'll die on again. Oxen won't beat the 2022 home shirt. It's impossible. It was perfection.
No, it was
absolutely perfection. It had Rob in there. It had the traditional band. Everyone's seen it. That Oxen will never top that. This is close.
It is a really good shirt.
That's how much I like this shirt. Am I going to buy it? No. Do I love it? Yes. Absolutely.
But you can guarantee who's already bbought it. In fact, I think he's bought both.
He probably has.
Yeah. Laurie, by the way. For those
we didn't have to see his name.
Yeah. Laurie's worse than me. I didn't even get any of the kits from this season.
You didn't?
Even though they're on sale, I didn't get any of them.
You got the Doddy shirt.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got the Doddy shirt. The normal kits. I didn't get.
Only because you designed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Cool.
So, what did you give that one out of 10? Sorry.
8. That's an 8 for me, and the white kit's a 7.
The principal for me is still a flat 0, but that alternative one is a 10. Oxen, you smashed it out of the park. I'm excited for the traditional home shirt. Shall we move on to IMG and the IMG scoring, which came out whenever
You
it
mean
came out?
we top the IMG table? You'll never sing that.
Yeah, we did top the IMG table. The Rhinos scored 17.49, which is top of the IMG scoring charts, but it is an absolute disgrace. Now, I know these are provisional scores and what have you, but that is 17.9 for Leeds Rhinos is appalling. Absolutely appalling. I can only assume that they didn't want to upset Saints, Wigan, Warrington by giving us a 20 because they are never ever going to get close to that 20. But to score Leeds Rhinos 17 point, I think it's an absolute
It's our bloody
tragedy.
league positions, Eddie.
Tragedy.
If it had been winning, it would have been a 20, but we haven't been winning anything, have we?
The facilities we have,
Oh, yeah.
the squad we have, the fans we have, the social media presence, the marketing.
Well, we've got the
them
most
not to give us a
social
20.
media followers out of any rugby league entity, don't we?
Yeah, in the whole world.
Yeah.
We've got the best rugby league stadium in the world, and they don't give us a 20. Now, everyone's been talking about London's score and Cass's score and Lee's score, however. They're not the biggest tragedy here. It's our score. It's us. We definitely should have got fucking 20. Sorry,
Speaking of Cass, by the way, I'm so happy that they gave the wrong numbers. I mean, that's just so Castleford, isn't it? It's like
did somebody down at the RFL or IMG expect someone from Castleford to be able to count?
It was just one of the most important moments potentially in rugby league history, and you know, and how this grading could affect the future of your club, and you get the numbers wrong. They should lose points for that.
Should. They should have said to Castleford. I don't know what score Castleford got, but they should have. Someone at IMG should have grabbed Castleford.
They got 12.16.
You know that 12 is higher than 20, don't you, Castleford? I think.
It was right for us to. It was right for us to be the top because that, you know.
I'm not.
Best facilities.
I'm being deadly serious.
Our league position's been crap in recent years, but you take that aside.
We're going to win the treble this year, so we'll definitely get a 20. I am being deadly serious about that being a 20. But jokes aside, the Lee score, I can't remember what Lee got, but
Lee got 12.45.
That is absolutely mental. Mental. That a club that's just got promoted, finished in the playoffs, and won, cover your ears, George, the fucking Challenge Cup. What more can they do in their first season back in Super League?
And I mean, the Wakefield were above them, and Toulouse were above them as well.
Wakefield and Toulouse are never, ever, ever going to win a trophy in Super. You know that.
Never league positions because they've been in the Championship won't have helped them in that. But like you said, they've won the Challenge Cup. I don't know what their social media followers are like, but they, you know, Derek Beaumont must have pushed that market. You know, the marketing they had.
Gets more coverage than Warrington.
Yeah, he was on Twitter for taking a private plane to go watch Man United get beat by Copenhagen. He was on like a group of Man United fans that went out, took a private plane to go watch
such a shame.
Man United at Copenhagen.
I hope he spent about 80 grand on that trip.
But yeah, I feel sorry for Lee in that score. I think, to be honest, the only surprise for me was Toulouse being 10th. They finished above 3 teams that were in Super League this year, despite the fact they were only in Super League for one season.
That's because they have more potential.
And they don't have massive attendance. But yeah.
I think the other thing is London as well.
London finish?
Their score.
London finished in 24th.
Their score essentially says no matter how well they do this year, they're getting relegated.
Yeah. They finished 2 places above the League One.
Which I completely disagree with, because as a big expansionist and a big IMGer, is that what we're calling each other? IMGers. I think these expansion clubs should be given a free hit. What have Castleford done for rugby league in 150 years? Nothing. So just get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Why not? Salford, what have they done? Just get rid of them. Just chuck them into a little league where they can all play each other.
I'd be interested to know what score Salford got for their facilities because they might not have any in about 3 weeks.
Facilities they don't even own. Or so
Yeah.
frustrating. I'm not going to go on a rant. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to. But the biggest thing to come away from that for me are the London score, because it's just killed the. Like for this year, why should they recruit an NRL player? You know,
No.
Why should they?
Yeah.
Which is, you look at their recruitment that I think they've signed 3 or 4 players last week. So you don't even know the names. You don't know who they are.
No.
So you think, well, they're just going to get absolutely hammered and go straight back down. And then again, the Lee score, because I completely disagree with it.
What it does prove, though, is that Leeds Rhinos are the biggest team in Super League.
Yes, in
which
the
we
world,
knew anyway.
with the best
And
facilities.
like we said, we can now go around Super League next year and sing top of the IMG table. You'll never sing that.
You'll never sing that. Where do you want to go next? That's IMG ticked.
Should we? Well, you wanted to do England, didn't you? Because we've had an England versus Tonga series and a following series that's now been cancelled.
Well, sorry, I just dropped my pen. The England series. Did you watch it? You were out there.
No, I was all away. But one thing I will say about the England Tonga series was how it was lovely to see Harry Newman playing some really good rugby league and enjoying himself.
It really was, because just at the end of the year, your last podcast, we were saying he's not going to get picked.
Yeah, well, no, Sean Wayne the noises that he was making, he wasn't going to get picked. And, you know, if Rowan did get sacked at some point this year or sacked at the end of the season, Sean Wayne was a type of character that I wouldn't have minded, because he wouldn't have put up with stuff. And I think as a man manager for someone like Newman, I think he'd be great. And that statement might have been proved in the international. So Newman was Newman played better in those 3 games for England than for any time he played for Rhinos this season. With the exception of Wigan away.
Is this a potential change in Harry's attitude?
I hope so. I think it's a really good reset for him, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's changed my mindset on him a bit as well. And I think I'm hoping that other fans will be aligned with that as well. Because we have got on his back a bit. We have said some stuff, but it was really good to see Harry playing some good rugby.
And Ginny says in our YouTube comments, Sean Wayne has done us a massive favour with getting Harry to mature. I agree with that. I hope this is the new Harry Newman that we see for the Rhinos. Notice how we're talking about England, but we've spun it to talk about Leeds Rhinos, because that's what we do best.
It was an all right series there, wasn't it?
I don't know. I didn't watch a second of it. In fact, I'm telling a lie there. I saw the amazing kick from Harry Smith, that crossfield ball. It drilled to Harry Newman for his try. That was just pure luck. I just turned it on just as that happened. I'm happy for Harry, because he's a Rhinos player representing his country. So I'm always going to be pleased for him there. It was a historic tour in terms of Tonga coming over and touring. You know, if we're putting a positive spin on it, that's kind of the massive positive from this is getting Tonga over here. Has that now died a death because Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Australia, New Zealand are all taking their ball and playing on the other side of the world? Yeah, it has died a death. But that Pacific Championship that's now taking place over there now, is it just up to England now to say to those countries, Reese, can we play, please?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what the RFL need to do. Look, Samoa want to stay down there because they want to play against Australia and New Zealand.
Because they've just seen them have a fantastic mini championship.
But absolutely, basically, just bring the fucking 4 nations back. That's all it is.
They're doing it without us now.
Yeah. So the RFL just need to go down and say, look, we can't. If there's 4 teams and 3 of them are down there, we're going to have to travel down there 3 out of 4 years.
We're going to have to.
On the 4th year, they come up here.
We can't play France.
I'm not watching a series of this exiles crap.
All stars, yeah.
It doesn't matter. They don't care. There's neither. It doesn't develop England. If you want England to really seriously challenge for a World Cup, go down there, because New Zealand beat Australia 30-0, and that was great. But the only problem is now, because Australia lost, they probably won't play a game now until
Yeah,
2045.
we're not playing to the World Cup. Imagine, because the closest England are going to get now is an All-Stars game, which is a load of crap. But in that All-Stars game, they'll choose Super League players, as in who's playing over here. So Brodie Croft will get picked for that game because he is the best halfback in the league.
Yeah.
Now, just imagine Brodie Croft getting injured playing in that game.
Exactly. There's
How
just no point. I don't think the
Rhinos
clubs would
fans
want
would
it.
be?
But equally, as Paul has said in the comments, if England go down there and join that tournament and just restart the Four Nations, England Knights then do a tournament with Wales, France, Scotland, and Ireland. So we still get a tournament over here. You're still growing the game internationally. Yeah, the crowd won't be attended as much, but just put it at Huddersfield because that'll look normal there. But England just need to just say go down there.
Yeah.
I just don't think the RFL will do it though.
No. The RFL have left it so late to ask Samoa to play.
Yeah.
It should have been announced when Tonga were announced, that series.
Yeah.
There should have been something off the back of that, whether it was, right, Tonga are coming over here to play England, and we're going straight back over there to play Tonga the year after. That gives you a 2-year cushion there, and then, you work off the back of that and put something in place.
I don't mind a mid-season international against France because, I still want France to grow its game as well because I think that's important for Super League. But it shouldn't be a series at the end of the year.
No. It's too easy. But did you expect this series to be so easy for England?
No, I thought part of me thought it would be a bit closer in the results. But yeah, I think it was still a better contest than would have had played against France or anyone like that up here.
No, as long as it's not the All-Stars, because people like Brodie Croft and Lockie Miller who will play, there's no prestige, there's no honour in playing for
and
the
you're not going to get
All-Stars.
people like Pappenhausen or
No way.
coming over to play for. Like I saw some people like throwing money. They're not going to do it, and they can't afford to throw money at those players to bring them up for it.
And there's nothing there for them. They want to play for Australia because of the strength of the Australia side. So if Ryan Pappenhausen gets in the Australia Kangaroo starting 13, 17, he's in there over Tedesco, over Ponga, over what's his face, Reece Walsh. He goes, wow, I've made it. That's their prestige. The biggest thing for them is getting into that side. You don't want to play for a Prime Minister's 13, fly over here, blow his knee,
well.
playing in fucking Huddersfield against England, blowing his. He'll be like, what have I done this for?
You've got to remember as well, Samoa got to the World Cup final and we didn't. So
Yeah,
technically, they're the top 3 teams down there.
They are. They're just going to go over there.
So England have got no. They've got no tout, have they? They've got no. I'm trying to think of the bloody word. It's a good job I don't work on a Sunday.
There's no incentive for them.
There's no incentive. There's no leeway. There's no like Australia can just do what they want because they are the best team in the world. So RFL just need to grow up and say, right, well, we'll come down and play for you in your Pacific.
We'll fly over there, and even if, because all those countries have kind of knitted together that part of the world. Even
Four
if
Nations was great. Remember the Four Nations final used to be at Ellen Road and it'd sell 30,000. It wasn't broken. It wasn't broken. So just bring it back.
Even if it means England just fly over there because all those teams can't be asked coming over here.
Well, every 4 years they come up.
Yeah, we just fly over there and play with them, and then at least then we're getting games. Because the biggest thing is England aren't playing Australia at all.
No,
they're not getting games against them, whereas we used to. Just the last one on this, Great Britain. Do you think an Ashes tour, Great Britain Ashes tour, I think that could revive it all if it was against the Aussies?
The only reason I'd do a Great Britain thing is just to bring the kit back.
Just the shirts.
Because if you look at the team, really, none of them are going to. No one from Scotland, Ireland, or Wales are going to get in.
No, it's the same. It's just England.
Yeah. So the only reason they should do it is so I can buy a Great Britain jersey.
Onto jerseys and people looking weird. in jerseys or hoodie. What was he wearing? Was he wearing a hoodie?
He didn't look
Danny
happy
Maguire
either way.
has officially joined Castleford as their assistant coach. He looked like he was about to start bursting, there it is, into tears from that one picture that we first saw him in the official Castleford kind of get up. What do you make of the greatest heading over to Castleford?
Just doesn't look right, does it? Doesn't look right.
At
It was
all.
very weird. I mean, part of me wants to give him a bit of credit because he turned down the head coach job there, didn't he? From what if you believe the reports, which, you know, he's obviously still wanting to learn his game and develop as a coach. So you take out your eye from for that. I'm a bit like, if he was available as an assistant, why is he not in?
Why is he not in blue and amber, Reese?
It could be our utility backup, to be fair, for a halfback. But yeah, it just doesn't look right. And I want to wish him the best of luck because it's Danny Maguire. I'm just not sure I can.
That first official picture of him looked like he was just being held against his will, held captive.
It wasn't.
His will.
I'm sorry, if you're the media person going, Danny, can we just look a bit happier, please? Like, you know, we're going to put this out, and there's going to be people looking at this, and you know,
I can't. It stinks of shite, and it's so depressing.
But the positive for Danny is that it's only probably 10-minute drive for his house.
That's true. I do think. Well, I know for a fact.
Have you stopped crying yet? Actually,
I
because
think
this is like your worst nightmare, isn't it?
I think he's going to absolutely smash it. Castle will be miles better than they were this year, and it's not because of Craig Lingard. I can assure you, it's nothing to do with Craig Lingard. Danny will make Cass a million times better because that's what he does. Hull KR won't be as good as they were this year because Danny's left, because it's not Willie Peters. It's not Willie Peters. Get a life. It's not Willie Peters. And Cass will be miles better. I can assure you. If there's any Castleford fan listening to this, first of all, how have you stumbled onto this podcast? Because it is not for you. But no, I wish him all the best. And he will turn Cass around because that's what he does. He's a champion. And if he still doesn't feel like he's in head coach, if his head coach ready, he will be after this.
Sorry, the Jags are getting battered. And I'm trying not to go. It's like it's
professional. I dropped a pen, and now you're watching the bloody NFL.
I'm going to turn it off in a minute. It's 27-3.
Danny, we wish you all the best at Castleford. We love you, and we mean that with all our hearts.
Still.
What's next, Kevin?
The legend
that is doing it again, Kevin Sinfield. We are just running out of words. Everyone is struggling to sum up Kevin. He was a god to us Leeds fans in 2004 when he won the grand final. That's 2004. That's almost 20 years ago. We can't keep thinking of words to describe this man. He went beyond that. He went beyond a godlike status with us after 2004. He became more than anyone could ever describe. That was just what he did playing for Leeds Rhinos. I can't think of any words to describe Kevin Sinfield's next challenge. 7 in 7 in 7, Reese.
I didn't think he'd do another one. He said himself he wasn't going to do another one. Didn't he? Kind of said he wasn't going to do another one, and I wasn't quite sure really how he could keep topping it off. To be fair, because it was 7 ultras in a row, wasn't it, last time?
Yeah.
But you know, I like, obviously, I think the challenge obviously still is big. The bigger challenge for him this one is that when he's been doing those ultra marathons, he's either done the same route or he's stopped and started, or he's started where he finished. Yeah. Whereas he's going to have to do the ultra marathon in the city he's doing it in, and then travel down there,
and then travel
in his recovery time. So I think that's the difference. I think this time. So, and I really like how it's around the UK as well, because I'm not sure Kev realises how much he's touched not just the rugby league community and in those rugby league heartlands, but how he's captured the nation, and with what he does for Rob and the journey he's done from MD. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those crowds around the whole country, because I think he'll be shocked at how much attention he's raised and awareness he's raised for it. So yeah, there isn't. You can't. You can't, like you say, you can't. There's no super. There's no more words to describe who he is, or than what we've already said about him.
It's another mammoth effort from Kevin. It's all for M&D, of course, for Rob, for Doddy, for all those suffering with this terrible, terrible disease. And I think you're right. You know, the 7 in 7 in 7 going to places he's never run before with his team, and he will feel that love, not just from those usual kind of heartlandy type rugby or rugby league areas, but places like Brighton and Birmingham where, you know, they're not known for rugby. There's no rugby union clubs there, is there, Reece?
There are rugby union clubs there, but not not big ones anyway. Not big ones.
Yeah, but it's and he's releasing, or Oxen are releasing shirts for each one of his runs. So there's a Brighton shirt, there's an Ireland shirt, there's a Scotland shirt, there's a Leeds shirt, of course. And I think the Leeds shirt, for those who haven't seen it, it's almost like a retro. It's got the sevens on the Rob Burrow sevens on the sleeves. It's got the blue and amber. And I think it might be the best shirt. It isn't a Leeds Rhinos shirt. It might be the best Leeds Rhinos shirt of the season. If that was the home shirt, I think you're onto an absolute winner.
I'm just trying to find it now because
He's trying to drag it up for the YouTube.
Because he's got a Wales one for runs in
He
Cardiff.
has. You love that. You must be
And
buying
I'm like,
that.
I will be buying it. Yeah.
You must be buying that.
Yeah. Here we go. Right. Sorry.
Here we go. Reece is bringing it up for our
professional
YouTube.
as always and prepared as we are.
Watchers, subscribers.
We're just out of practice because we've not done this for a while. Here we go. So yeah, this is the Leeds Rhinos one, if you like the Leeds one, which you know, for me that could have been it's got the 7 in it, so maybe you couldn't have done it. But if you made this main body white, that could have been our white shirt.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because I really like the 7s on the sleeve. But yeah, the Leeds one is the blue and amber, as you mentioned. The London one is in the M&D Association colours. Yeah. The Wales one, obviously, it's got the red and green there. It's got the Welsh flag in it. It's got Rubber 7 on it, so that is already in.
How much are these shirts, Reece? Does it say?
These are 34.
34 quid each.
34.
And how much of that is going to MND? Does it say?
I will have a look because I think it's going to other charities as well. 20% of all profits donated to MND.
Wonderful. So well worth buying, everybody. 34 quid. Check it out on the Rhinos website.
Yeah, so there's a Brighton one, which is the blue and white. He's got a Birmingham, which is red and white. He's then got a Doddy one for Edinburgh. And then he's got an Irish one as well. But yeah.
Good luck, Kevin. Can't wait to watch you. Can't wait to support you. As always. Is there anything else? Or is that everything?
I think that's everything in the last 3 weeks, obviously.
And done. One player we haven't spoken about, that I do have jotted down here. Well, no, we've spoken about it. You haven't. Paul Momirovski. You haven't spoken about him, have you?
Good name.
What do you make of that signing, Reece, to finish
good name. I'm not sure how we're going to create a chant for that one, potentially. He's got his challenges. He's a more proven player than the guy that he's replaced in terms of NRL appearances.
Who did he replace again? God, I can't remember his name. What's it called?
Prick.
Oh, who did it? What is it? Joel Moon.
Joel Moon, yeah. But no, so he's definitely more proven. I think he's a starting set. You know, if he's been starting in NRL, then he's already probably one of the top centers in the Super League because that's how it works now. But no, I think we've definitely upgraded there. And I think so. Centre's looking stronger for me. So when I said earlier, I don't think we need. There's the only position I think I would strengthen is prop, is because obviously if we get the best of Harry Newman, and then we have Momorowski there as well, that's probably one of the best centre pairings in the league. And then you've got Max Simpson coming back as well from his ACL injury, as well as that backup, rather than playing Reece Martin there and other players there as well. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing Momorowski, but he doesn't arrive until the new year, I don't think, does he?
No.
Whereas Ackers and Croft, I think, will start pre-season pretty soon.
Yeah, would assume so.
But I don't think Momorowski's starting not coming over till after Christmas.
What I'm taking from that is you're telling me that Paul Momirovski is going to score 20 tries next year. Is that?
That's your stuff. I'll go for 10 just to be a bit more ambitious. But
Thanks a lot, Reese, for joining me as always. Thank you to everybody that watched this live on YouTube. We do live stream all of our podcasts. If you head over to YouTube and search The Lot Pod, hit that subscribe button. That's us there. Hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time we go live with a podcast. Thank you to everybody for listening back to this on Spotify or iTunes. We will be back somehow, somewhere with these updates or a mailbag or a special during the off season. Until then, everyone, take care.